As most of you already know, Russia recently invaded Ukraine from multiple directions, trying to take over the whole country and creating a potential World War III disaster. But how did this all start? Who are the different parties and how can it end? Hi, this is Spencer, founder of Synapse Trading, and I've been trading and traveling across the world to teach and inspire others how to do the same. In this video, I'm going to give a quick summary on the whole situation based on all the information I have gathered online from various sources. We probably started way back in the Cold War between the Western powers and the USSR. And after the dissolution of the USSR, many of the former countries of the USSR, such as Moldova, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, which are near the Russian border, started to join NATO and the EU, which started to make Russia worried. Afraid that Georgia might be next, Russia invaded Georgia in 2008 under the pretext of supporting South Ossetia, which is a pro-Russian breakaway state in Georgia, as a warning to them not to get too close to the West. Without going back to the whole Cold War era, the current conflict can be traced back to 2014 when Ukraine held protests to oust the current government, which was more pro-Russia, and replaced it with the current government, which is more pro-EU and NATO. Ukraine is a huge country made up of many ethnic groups, but mainly the East is more pro-Russian in terms of the language and culture as compared to the West, which is more liberal and speaks Ukrainian. Note that this does not mean that the East wants to merge with Russia, it's just that they have more common roots. When this change of government happened, which is still in 2014, Russia, or rather Putin, was worried that this might lead to Ukraine being closer to the West, which is the US, EU and NATO, which Putin considers as enemies from the Cold War era. So to prevent that from happening, he decided to invade Ukraine, starting with the more pro-Russian territories such as Crimea and the Donbas area, which includes these two states, which I'm not sure how to pronounce. So it is not clear exactly whether the people in these regions really want to be part of Russia. My guess is that a certain portion of them do, which Russia took advantage of using propaganda to stoke separatist sentiments while sending people and troops to catalyze conflict. Crimea was quickly taken over via covert operations, whereas the war in Donbas has been ongoing since 2014, with the Ukrainian government armies and their volunteers fighting against separatists and the Russian army. Although Russia does not admit that they are sending in troops to support the conflict. This war has been going on at the east edge of Ukraine since 2014, claiming an estimated 10,000 lives so far. With this ongoing war, it is no surprise Ukraine wants to join the EU and NATO to protect itself from Russia. But the closer they get to the West, the more Russia gets agitated, till Putin finally decides to go for an all-out invasion of the whole country. So how will things likely play out? It's hard to see how this can end since Putin and his small close circle controls all the power, so protests within Russia can be quelled by force. Sanctions and isolation will topple their economy, but will it push Putin to more desperate measures? Will Russia become another North Korea? And even if Russia manages to crush Ukraine and take over the country, will they be able to hold it? And at what cost? It will be a Pyrrhic victory at the expense of their own country. My guess is Russia doesn't intend to hold Ukraine and just wants to wreck the country and teach it a lesson to scare them from joining the West, which is EU and NATO, and also to serve as a warning to other countries nearby who plan to do so. This means that once they have gained control of the main parts of the country, they will use it as leverage to negotiate a peace treaty which involves giving Russia some of Ukraine's territories and also officially recognizing Crimea and Donbas as part of Russia, and possibly include a clause that Ukraine will never join EU and NATO. Alternatively, Russia might plan to install a pro-Russian puppet government in Ukraine and indirectly rule the Ukrainian people by force. As long as the West does not intervene directly, Russia will most likely win the war by sheer numerical superiority and Russia can get what it wants, but the price is heavy, which is the Russian economy, and leaves generations of Ukrainians and most of the world hating Russia. Now that I've shared my view of the whole situation, do you agree with it? And what do you think will happen next? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, do remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to receive the latest updates. That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.